Welcome to The Cynical Developer, the podcast that helps you to improve your development knowledge and career through explaining the latest and greatest in development technology and providing you with what you need to succeed as a developer. We've recently launched our Patreon page, which can be found at cynicaldeveloper.com/Patreon. If you aren't familiar with Patreon, it's an easy way for those who are interested in this show to help out by simply pledging a small amount each month in sponsorship. Now that could be as little as $5 a month, which is about £3.80, or as much as you like. You will enable us to dedicate more time creating more content to help you, including videos, more blog posts, and even more shows. So if you can, head over to cynicaldeveloper.com/Patreon and get involved. In this episode, we talked to Emma and Andrew Seward about Hackathons and Hack24. Andrew is the director of Tech Nottingham, an organisation dedicated to improving Nottingham as a place to live and work in technology through communicating, building and events. Those events include Hack24, which is taking place in Nottingham Council House on the 10th and 11th of March 2018. So try and work that out, because this is podcast, so we're time shifting a little bit. In his day job, Andrew is a senior project manager at Quint. Emma is an international award-winning wildlife photographer, owner of Emma's Garden and director at Tech Nottingham. Emma is the organiser of Hack24. She's extremely partial to donuts and also keeps bees. There we go, as a bombshell of a fact. So welcome both to the Cynical Developer.
Hi.
Hello there.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for coming on and taking some time out of what is undoubtedly a very busy time for you at the moment.
Oh, definitely, yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
So,
it's a pleasure to be here, though.
Yeah, good. It is good to have you on. Now, having odd hobbies is really cool. I've got a mad obsession with tropical fish, as some of the listeners will know. But how did you get into keeping bees?
Oh gosh, I've always been fascinated by bees, and they're like my main subject in my photography. And on my birthday, about 4 years ago now. It was in the evening and it was dark, and Andrew blindfolded me and walked through a nearby wood. So I was a bit unsure as to what was actually. And then he took the blindfold off and he set up a beehive, an empty one, but and booked me onto a beekeeping course, and it just kind of escalated from there. And now we have 4 beehives, and it's great fun.
Oh, cool. Yeah, so I know a very small amount about it. Do you buy in your queen, or do you get them transported from elsewhere, or do you just let it naturally come into your hive?
Yeah, I mean it varies. Some people like to buy in their queens, but we were given a couple of colonies of bees in exchange for some photography that I did of their bees. So
sure.
It worked out quite well.
Cool. It ties in quite well with technology, I guess, because everybody's always ranting and raving about how our technology and our mobile phones and that are killing bees. So you're doing that little bit extra there to try and bring their numbers up.
Absolutely.
Awesome. So before we get too far off on a tangent about bees, we are here to talk about Hack24 and hackathons. So some of the listeners out there might not know what a hackathon is. So let's start with, what is a hackathon?
A hackathon is a coding competition. In the case of Hack24, it's a 24-hour coding competition where the objective is to you enter in teams of up to 4, and you have 24 hours to build some cool stuff. There's challenges set by sponsors, and they put prizes up for making the best sort of hacks for their challenges. And it's about building stuff for fun, and in a short space of time. It's fun.
Cool. Yeah, it's definitely all about the swag. All about the swag. Definitely, winning some prizes and things like that. But apart from prizes, why should people attend? What do you think they're going to get out of attending a hackathon? Well,
I mean, most people aren't going to win, but the ones that
burst the bubble straight away.
Yeah, most people don't win. That's how competitions work, though. But there's really great prizes on offer. There's always amazing prizes like we've given away Raspberry Pis and Oculus Rifts and
Crystal Maze tickets.
Crystal Maze tickets. That's one of my favourites. And all sorts of stuff. Just there are always a really amazing prizes on offer, but that's not the best thing about the hackathon. That's not the thing you're going to get most out of the hackathon. We always say that like the competition is kind of, it's there to bring everybody together. But the best thing about hackathon is getting together with new friends and friends you've known for a long time and building stuff. And just celebrating the fact that we have these skills and we can all get together and have fun building things and get back to what it is you love about software development or design or just building. And what's more, throughout the weekend, we'll put on entertainment and diversions. If anytime any hacker at the event is getting stressed or worked up or frustrated, like, then we're not doing our job. So we have a relaxation lounge. It's got VR in it this year. Ooh. And we have board games and massages. Yeah, some really nice coffee this year, like some proper coffee we're doing this year. I'm giving away all awesome. And we have entertainment on the Saturday night. We have a bar. We give away free drinks. You get free food, free drinks all weekend. And so it's all about like just stepping out of the day-to-day and getting together and building something together in a fun and relaxed environment and as a part of a community that's doing the same thing.
Sure. Yeah, I've only ever attended one hackathon, and that was Hack24 last year. And I think myself and my team missed that a little bit, the social side of it. And we've made a bit of a pact this year to say that we're not going to sit at our desks for the full 24 hours this time. We're actually going to make an effort to get out there, talk to some other people, and see what's going on, because we've just sweated for 24 hours in a room with all these other people that we have no idea who they are. And a lot of us do that day to day in work, so it wasn't much different from that. Try and enjoy it a little bit more, I think.
That's a core aim of all, not just Hack24, but all our events. And a lot of the way that Hack24 is arranged and set up is designed to get you talking to other people, people around you, people you didn't arrive with, people you don't know. There's lots of sort of tricks we do to try and get people talking to each other, and we survey people at the end of the event. And one of the key questions is, did you talk to someone you didn't know before the event? And last year, 86% of people said they spoke to someone they didn't know before attending the event, this, we want to get that a little bit higher this year. But yeah, like all the activities we do and the way the rooms are arranged, the way the meals are served, pretty much everything we do has got some aspect of it has been thought about to get how can we enable people to talk to each other and engage with one another.
Yeah, and I think in this industry, it's got to be hard because the majority of techies, they don't like other people. So it's got to be a challenge to get them to talk to people they don't know, because for most of the part they don't talk to the people they do know.
I think people are anxious about the idea of people. Nobody wants to go up to someone and talk to someone, but everybody appreciates having had a positive experience speaking to someone. So like if you spoke to someone and it went well, you feel great about it and there's no regret there. That's absolutely a thing you wanted to have done. But I think the idea of crossing that boundary, and this is how I feel about it as well, is like that's the hard bit. So there's things we do at Hack24 to make that part easier. So for example, the way the tables are arranged at Hack24, all the seats, you're always going to be around at least two other people that you don't know. When we serve food, I don't know if you noticed this last year, but the tables are arranged in sort of teams of 4 for your team in the hackathon room, the hacking room. But when you go into the dining room, the tables are for 12. And when we send people for dinner, we pick people from different parts of the room to go in different orders, so that when you queue up for food and sit down, you're going to be sitting with a whole new group of people you've not sat down with before.
Yeah, definitely. I did notice that, because that was the point where I actually got to talk to someone who wasn't in the team.
Yeah,
It worked.
it works.
Yeah. So it works. Yeah.
And all the entertainment is team games, and all the activities in the lounge are for 4 people or more. Yeah, there's even the way you register your team. It's by talking to Hackbot on the Slack channel, and that means that you create your team, you set your team name and your team motto, and you add people to your team. You do that in a public channel in front of people, and that gives people a thing to talk to each other about, and that works really well.
Yeah, we've had a conversation with between ourselves this year to say that we need to come up with a better name, because we just put names into a hat, and one of the team members really didn't put any effort in and just decided on Sausage Factory, stuck that into the random generator, and of course, which one did it pick out? Sausage Factory. So we want a slightly better name than that this time. But the Slack bot was an interesting way of registering the team.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it really works. It's a good. Otherwise, it's just like the alternative was you go onto a website and you register your stuff, and no one sees that. That doesn't happen in a social way. It doesn't happen in view of anybody, and so nobody gets to associate that team with an individual. So it solves that problem really.
Yeah. So we've already sort of alluded to the fact that Hack24 is a hackathon, but do you want to talk about Hack24 as a whole, what surrounds it, and I guess there's some involvement with Tech Nottingham pulled in there somewhere.
Yes, so Tech Nottingham is the organisation that organises Hack24, which Emma and I are directors of. Tech Nottingham is an organisation dedicated to making Nottingham a better place to live and work in technology. That's our sort of aim, and we do that in a number of ways. Mainly, the main aim is about community building and doing things like Hack24. So we organise about 40 events a year, something like that. Right. We have 4 monthly events. We organise Tech Nottingham, which is our sort of flagship monthly event. That's a monthly meetup for software developers and people working in and around software development, and that is very popular. That's the most popular in Nottingham, certainly, and that attracts sort of 115 people a month. And we give away, there's free food and drinks, and we usually have a couple of speakers that's talking about different topics. It's a pretty traditional meetup in that respect, and yeah, again, the emphasis is on getting people to talk to people they don't know. So there's lots of tricks that are happening there as well. And then we also organise Women in Tech Nottingham, and that is a similar idea, but it's about promoting female speakers and the interests and problems and causes are surrounding being a woman working in tech in Nottingham. Anyone is welcome to attend, but the speakers are exclusively female. We also organise Tech on Toast, which is a morning event aimed at people who can't attend evening meetups. In Nottingham, we have lots of meetups in the evenings, about 25 a month, but there's not really much if you have kids and stuff. It's quite hard. So we did put a morning one on, and it works really well. It's like a mini Tech Nottingham. And we also have Not Tuesday, which is a business-focused event, which we're about to relaunch as a startup-focused event. So that's an exclusive.
Yeah. You heard it here first. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
we've got to work on that. We're totally going to do that.
Yeah. Well, now you've said it, you've got to.
Yeah, exactly.
You're committed to it. It's the way that I get things done. I start telling people that that's what I'm going to do, and if I've done that, I've got to do it. Otherwise, they just think I don't follow through on anything that I say I'm going to do.
Yeah, we built Tech Nottingham that way.
Right.
We also run a student outreach program.
Yeah.
Which we work with Nottingham Trent University and University of Nottingham, and that's aimed at bringing students into the tech community while they're working on their degrees,
keeping them in Nottingham.
Yeah, exactly. Like just getting them to not move down to London and work for an investment bank. The idea is that they form relationships with people in the city, and then by the time they graduate, they know the companies, they know the people, they know where they want to work, and there's no question that they're going to stay in Nottingham when they graduate. So that works really well. That's probably one of the most successful programs we've run. Also, we have an online Slack community of about 1,400 people of Nottingham tech folk, and that's popular as well.
Yeah. So you do one or two things then around Tech Nottingham, just only a handful.
Yeah, and then we do Hack24.
Yeah, and you have full-time jobs as well. So busy people.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard work.
Awesome. So people out there may have looked at some of the other hackathons that are around, and they see that some of the others have got a cost attached to it. Is there a cost for people that want to attend one of your hack events?
Hack24 is completely free, some hackathons. Hackathons are often in a lot of demand, and they deal with that demand in different ways. So some hackathons like Hack Manchester charge £20 a ticket, or and some of them do application-based ticketing. Right. So you apply, you give your credentials, and then they select, or they'll do a random bid type process. But we just release the tickets, and people snap them up. They're free, completely free to attend, but you get get free meals for the whole event. You get this gorgeous environment to work in, and food and drink and entertainment all put on. So
the tickets being released for free, I think, has got to be one of the most intense sort of hour. Even though they go so quickly, it's an hour. It's like the run up to it is so intense. Going, right, I'm ready. And I think it was one of the first things I did when I got out of bed that morning was go and open the Eventbrite page.
Get ready.
Yeah, and sort of practice clicking just so I could get something. And unfortunately this year I didn't get a ticket, but one of our team members managed to bag us 4. So it was all good in the end.
They went especially quickly this year, 25 seconds. Well, actually, we released them in 2 batches.
Yeah.
The first batch always goes really quickly, and the second batch takes a little bit longer, maybe a minute. and then the wait list, actually, we're pretty strict about people getting tickets and not attending and letting us know. So we have quite a complex system for working out who's because it's free tickets. One of the problems with free tickets is people forget that there's enormous value behind them. Each hacker we spend costs about £350. So if someone doesn't show up, then someone else wants that ticket, and we're still spending that money. So we really need every single one of them to show up. So what we do is we have a good idea about what percentage are likely to not attend, but we do a lot of analysis on people's engagement with the event in the run up to that Hack24. So we know how much they're engaging with the emails we send. We know whether they've logged on with their team, whether they've kept their details up to date, and whether they've registered a team on the Slack channel. All of this stuff that we encourage them to do before tells us a lot about how engaged they are with the event. And then from that, we can kind of make a pretty down to the number accurate estimate of who's attending and who's not. And we also bombard people with messages like, look, if you're not coming, let us know. We send text messages out as well, like text back if you're unable to come. And then from that, we release tickets to the wait list. And so if you miss out on the second ticket release and you get on the wait list, you actually have a pretty good shot of getting tickets, because we get cancellations rolling in because of the fever pitch. People book the tickets, and then they're like, oh no, actually I can't come. So then they cancel their ticket and it goes to the wait list.
Right.
So there's if you missed out on tickets in the first release, there's another release on 23rd of February, but I think this podcast will probably be out after then. Even if you've missed out on those, get on the wait list, and you're going to be in with a pretty good shot. I think last year we almost released the entire wait list from the final bunch of cancellations that we had. So
so you use all those the matrix that you pull together and all that data, and if people aren't engaging in any way, you can actually sort of make the educated assumption that they possibly couldn't attend, so you can pick it up with them more effectively and say, look, you've not been on Twitter, you've not been on Slack, you've not done this. Are you actually going to come? Because if you're not, I'm having your ticket back, sort of thing.
Yeah, well, actually, what we do is we apply a risk multiplier, and then,
Right.
So a higher risk multiplier means a larger number of tickets are going to go unused. So then we just release those tickets.
Yeah.
But yeah, absolutely. If anyone has a ticket and they can't go, it's so important. Please cancel it. It helps us so much.
Yeah.
Lowers our risk and solves a whole load of problems for us if you do that. But yeah, the ticket thing is a challenge, and actually charging for tickets helps with that a little bit, because it kind of people have more, they want their money back, so they're incentivized to cancel. But actually we found our technique to be effective enough, I think.
Yeah. That reminds me that I need to get the Tech Nottingham Slack back on my computer, because I had that many Slack channels in my Slack installation that it was grinding my laptop to a halt, so I deleted most of them for a while when I was trying to sort things out with it. And now it's back up and performing properly. I need to get it back in.
Yeah. Look back on you're still one of us.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. So how did you get started with Hack24? Was it just a case of that you were running Tech Nottingham and thought, let's do a hackathon, or was it requested by people, something like that?
You went to Hack Manchester.
Yeah, we for a few years actually.
Didn't you go to a talk by someone?
Oh yeah. So I was running Tech Nottingham, but we've been to Hack Manchester with a team from when I was working with Ascendex. We went to a team every year, and we sponsored a few years as well. And we love Hack Manchester. It's run by Gemma Cameron, who is a friend of ours, and it's just a wonderful event, very much in the same spirit as Hack24, and that we always loved that, and we always knew, like, we've got to get a hackathon in Nottingham. There's just nothing around, and I think there was a couple of things. I definitely wanted that to happen, and I definitely wanted us to be the ones to organise it, but we kind of never got to it.
Right.
And then I went to a talk by Cristiano Betta, who at the time it was a dev evangelist at Braintree, and they were organising the Battle Hack, hacks around the world. And he just did a talk about how to organise a hackathon, and I was like, oh, I know how to do this. Like, we do events all the time. We're doing loads of these. So then we organised, we kind of put together the first hackathon, and that was at the Broadway Cinema in Nottingham, and that was for about 80 people. Like, it's fewer people than we have attending every month at Tech Nottingham. But like, now, not then. Then we have much fewer people at Tech Nottingham. But yeah, it was just, so we just did it, and it went really well. And then we always had this idea, like, we wanted it to be in the Nottingham Council House. That was our sort of dream. And so we did it successfully at the Broadway Cinema, but we needed it to be bigger. And Broadway Cinemas had got this amazing creative space, but it only fits 80 people. So
yeah, and they wouldn't sort of fund a extension for us, would they?
No.
To be honest, that's just plain rude.
So they couldn't solve that without people getting quite uncomfortable. And then we were looking at other venues, and all we ever came back to is like, it's got to be at the Nottingham Council House. So we started pulling on some contacts we had in the council, and it was extremely complicated to do. Like, Nottingham Council House is the main building in Nottingham. If you Google Nottingham, it's that building that pops up the first. So it's that is owned by the city council. There's no Wi-Fi. There is it's this gorgeous, beautiful venue that's often used for dinners and wedding receptions and stuff like that. But it's never been used for a hackathon. But it had to be there. Like, that is we wanted this to be Nottingham's hackathon. So we we basically took us about 6 months to get it booked before, and that was before we could even begin organising it. You can't just get a council building and say, I want to have an event with hack in the name here.
Yeah. Overnight.
Yeah. So just
the risk assessments and things like that.
Yeah, this wedding venue. Basically, we want to take over the whole thing. I know that you don't do much at weekends, but we want the whole thing all weekend, overnight. People can come and go exactly as they please. We want to build an entire Wi-Fi setup inside the council house, running through the council network. It's got hack in the name.
We're going to turn up with like 150 people, and they're going to be hacking all night on your internet.
On your internet, yeah, that is not something that's an easy sell. It's so easy for someone at every level to say no. That's basically what happened. Like, you get a yes, and then they'd be like, and then their boss would go, oh no, and then you, all right, it's off, and then we're like, all right, let's talk to their boss. We talk to their boss, and they're a yes, and then their boss goes no. and then we kind of had to go through this process of every level going through. We had the backing of a couple of city councillors and some people at the council that really helped us kind of clear the red tape a little bit. And like now, once you've done it once, it's a lot easier because
they love it.
Yeah, it's like it's a huge deal for the city. Like the council supports and backs it, not financially, but like with logistical support. And we have banners on the side of the council house that get seen by 700,000 people. We have banners around the city that get seen by over 1 million people. Like it's Nottingham's hackathon, like it's the city's hackathon, and that's really the vision we always had for it. That was that it's not just about what goes on inside the room in the 24 hours. It's about us letting the city know that there is a tech community you can come and be a part of. We have our tech. Nottingham has an identity as a tech destination. Also, it gets a lot of traction around the country and across Europe. We get known about and talked about. So it allows us to say to the world, Nottingham is a place where technology happens. You can do business here. You can come and work here. You can come and live here. So, yeah, there's a wider objective for the city with Hack24 as well.
Sure, and it's definitely working because I'm based out in North Wales. A couple of the team members are based a lot closer, but we all met online, and I don't think I'd actually been into Nottingham city centre before, and until the event. So it definitely brought me to the city.
Oh, that's wonderful.
So if anything, it's you got one person from somewhere else. So you mentioned there that the council technically sort of sponsor you with some aspects to the event, but obviously this is a free event for anybody to attend. There's massive costs there for somebody, so you've got to have sponsors picking up those bills somewhere. So who are your sponsors?
Shall I see if I can do them all off the top of my head?
For this year?
So we've got 14 this year.
Okay, go ahead.
So we've got MHR, then we've got Ascendex, Experian, and Thomson Reuters. Challenge sponsors, we have got eLife, Microsoft, and Unidays.
Yeah.
We have got Cordius as a drink sponsor, GitHub as the lounge sponsor, Starling Bank as the workshop sponsor, Capital One as a clothing sponsor, Startup Stickers as the drink sponsor, and Liberus and Heart Internet as supporters. Boom.
Every sponsor in the right order.
No.
Round of applause there. And Startup Stickers is the company that has recently made the cynical developer stickers as well.
They're an absolutely fantastic company. We love them for our stickers.
Yeah, I'm more than pleased with them. When they turned up, there was a little bit of silvering on them, and I had no idea what it was. And I jumped straight on Twitter. I was like, "What's this? What's wrong with them?" I said, "Calm down. It's fine. They're like that because it's cold. Give it a couple of days." And to be fair, they've been amazing. There's actually, at this point in time, as of recording this, there's more of them now in the States than there is in the UK.
Oh, really?
But yeah, I'm hoping to change that, and especially with Hack24.
Oh,
so I'll try and sneak some onto the sticker desk.
Oh, do it. Yeah, you're absolutely welcome to do that.
Oh, so that'd be great. So, apart from these sponsors coming along and picking up these bills for you, what do they get out of it?
So for a sponsor, they sponsor for all sorts of reasons. But so some of them are sponsoring and setting challenges, and some of them are sponsoring different aspects of the event. But there's a few reasons that companies might want to sponsor. A lot of the time it's for recruitment. So we're in a situation where recruiting developers is very hard. Recruiting talented technical people is very hard. So them being able, there's not many opportunities for a very, very large number of technical people to see their brand and see who they are and see that they're supporting this kind of event. So it really helps with that. So like in the run up to Hack24, we get like 14,000 hits on the website in the
yeah, they're big numbers, but I don't have them to hand.
Okay. And we have a lot of quite a large following around the event, and so that it allows them to promote roles that are available, or just promote the fact that they exist and they're an employer and they're an option. We also get companies that want to promote services, like Microsoft are sponsoring to promote their cognitive services this year, and GitHub are doing a similar thing. They are spreading the good word about GitHub, and some other companies just want to support the community and the work we do in the community, and this is very central and key to that.
Awesome. So you said that they set the challenges as well. Do they just come up with them themselves, or do you have a helping hand in sort of molding what the challenge is?
Well, one of my roles in the run-up to the event, and this is something I'm doing a lot at the moment, I've been doing a lot today, is curating the challenges. So they come up with some ideas, and they come up with what they want to achieve with the event, with setting a challenge, with sponsoring, and around that we kind of shape the challenges. So we have a lot of experience built up now about what challenges work, what doesn't, what kinds of descriptions work, what kind of roadblocks there are with different challenges, and what combination of challenges is going to produce the most interesting hacks, the most engagement from the audience and the community. So around all of that, we take all of that and we take the ideas that they have, and sometimes the ideas that they have are very out there, sometimes they're very safe, and we kind of shape them into a way that when people arrive at the event, they can go, okay, I'm going to do this and this challenge and this challenge. One of the things we allow is you can enter as many hacks into as many challenges as you like. So you could make one hack that enters every challenge. You could make 5 different hacks. You can do whatever you want. So we like to find challenges that can work together, that don't step on each other's toes, and like give people. And there's also a balance to strike with specificity versus breadth. So you want a challenge that's kind of broad enough that it's going to produce lots of different ideas, but restrictive enough that it's going to kind of get people's synapses firing and coming up with interesting ideas and inspire. Like people need some constraints to feel inspired, but they also need. You don't want the same hack over and over again, so you also need it to be kind of broadened. Yeah. It's a very delicate balance there to strike, and we've been working on this year's challenges for about 2 months. Right, we're about done. There's still some stuff still to do.
Cool. So, do all hackathons have challenges, or is it normally just a single prize, a single golden egg that everybody's striving for?
Certainly, the ones we've worked with. We do some work with Major League Hacking, who coordinate a lot of student hackathons, and they tend to have challenges set. But there's lots of different ways that a hackathon can run. There is a variety of different focuses and different ways that hackathons can operate. So sometimes you'll get hackathons that are organized by a company, and they kind of are quite narrow in their focus, and it's more about build something relating to this, and sometimes you get hackathons that are around the idea of building a business or building a startup. So there's a sort of startup thing that happens afterwards. But ours isn't. I mean, if anything, with ours, we kind of try to de-emphasize the competition element. Yeah. So we kind of want people to come and enter the challenges, but we want them to do it for fun. Yeah. We've had to have sponsors like give us lower value prizes because we're worried that wrong behavior in the audience. Like, people getting all competitive. Like, it's a community event, and the best outcome for us is people meet each other and talk to each other, and even if they're for a hack, it's fine. Like, so yeah, the way we structure the competition at our hackathon is kind of around connecting people and giving people a positive experience of the weekend, whatever the outcome. But you do get some other hackathons that tend to be a bit more direct, a bit more focused, and there's a very high pressure presentation stage at the end and things like that. But yeah, that's not us.
Yeah, I've heard horror tales of people going to some hackathons, and they're not really hackathons. What they are slightly disguised with smoke and mirrors, large-scale group interviews.
What?
Yeah.
They're run by companies, and basically they're just looking for the best talent in the area to pass basically a test, because they set a challenge. This is what you've got to do. This is what you've got to achieve, and then set to it, and you basically get offered an interview at the end of it if it was any good. But that was a long time ago. Somebody had told me about that, and I can't remember a name of the event, to be honest with you. So I'm not going to drag anybody through the mud over it.
Yeah, there's certainly been a long history of the development of hackathons since sort of Yahoo Hack in years ago. But there's and there's been lots of different steps and missteps along the way. And we're quite open with sponsors when they're coming on board. Like, this is what you can reasonably expect from this. This is how you're allowed to engage with this event. So you're not allowed to go up and prod people for jobs and stuff. That's not what this is about. Yeah. It's about relationships and community. And if that turns into you knowing people that can connect you with jobs or start businesses together, great. But that's not what the event itself is for. The event itself is about those relationships, those connections.
Sure. So it's a bit of a segue onto my next thing, is that we've said there that Hack24 is about the community. Now, it could be that my assumption here is wrong, but the tech community in the UK seems to be pretty quiet compared to that of the US and Europe. We seem to see a lot online and talk about events that are going on. Now, we've also said that you run about 65 million events in Nottingham, so so it could be slightly off here. But why are events not as well attended in the UK? Do you think, as they are in Europe? Is it because they've got some sort of stigma attached to it, or the tech industry just isn't seen as that cool thing to be doing?
I don't know. I'm not sure that. I don't know that I've observed a lack of. Necessarily a lack of attendance in the UK versus an abundance in other cities. Certainly, in bigger cities, you get bigger events. That's natural, and bigger cities have more options in terms of things you can attend and more attendees just because of population density. Sure. But one of the things that we found in Nottingham when we were first doing the first kind of Geek Up Nottingham I ran, which was what became Tech Nottingham, that we had 8 people in a pub, and there wasn't loads else it wasn't like there was a lot of options. There was pretty much nothing else for a software developer to attend, and all of us knew each other. We'd just been at work all day together. That was the meetup, and then it just gradually grew. And what we found is in every city, certainly in Nottingham, and I think this is true of everywhere. Like people talk a lot about what the size of the tech industry is, and I think that's a bit of a misnomer. The idea, almost like the idea of a tech industry, is a bit of a misnomer. Like, if you have industry in a city, you have businesses that are above a 5-person sweet shop. You need software. You need software developers to support that industry and make it exist. They absolutely need software developers. Otherwise, those companies don't succeed. They need software writing. They need software customizing. They just need software in order to compete. So anywhere that's got businesses has got software developers. But the problem you have is if, and certainly this was the problem we had in Nottingham in like 2010, 2011, when we were starting, is that it doesn't matter if they're all locked away in buildings, not talking to each other, then the city can't, there's nothing, those people's opportunity to learn, opportunity to find each other, find jobs together, start businesses together. The number of opportunities that you have is a factor of the number of people you're engaging with in your circle, the people you're dealing with who are doing kind of the same job as you. So if those people can't, the people who are kind of locked away and they're just dealing with the same 7 people they work with all day, they are limited in their opportunity to engage with one another. But in every city where there's actual companies that exist, there are buildings and buildings, there are offices, hundreds of offices with software developers in them and people working in technical jobs and doing technical professions, doing design, and they're not talking to each other. And the job of the tech community is to bring all of those people together and then use that community to drive up engagement in the local area. And that's kind of what we've been doing. And once it kind of reaches a certain size, it develops an inertia of its own. People are drawn to it just by virtue of the fact that it gets noticed and they hear about it and it offers value to them. But I don't know that there's necessarily less of it happening in the UK. I certainly have been to like a meetup in Paris last year, and there was like smaller than most Nottingham meetups I've been to. There's like 18, 20 people there, but I'm sure there's also very big, very, very big meetups in Paris and stuff like that. But I think that it just needs to achieve a kind of critical mass in order to exist. If you look at cities like London and Manchester and Bristol and Birmingham, there's loads of tech meetups, absolutely loads. In Manchester, it's absolutely exploding. There's loads. There's something every single night. And in Nottingham, we're very lucky as well. Nottingham is a much smaller city, but we have like 25 tech events happening a month around the city. One of the things we've managed to achieve in Nottingham, which is quite unique, I think, is that we've managed to create a kind of singular, cohesive tech community. So all the meetup organizers, we work together, we know each other, we liaise, and we come together for a Christmas party every year, and we share information about each other's meetups. Our Slack channel is the Slack channel that's used for Tech Nottingham. Like, everyone's on there. There's 1,300 people on there, and it's growing. It grows by like 25 people a week. So we've been quite lucky in Nottingham that it's not very fragmented. It's very, very joined up. But in other cities, it's all there. All the bits are there.
You just need somebody to pull it together and push it a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. And so I don't know that it's necessarily not as well attended. It's just not. Maybe it's just not. I don't know. In certain areas, it will have matured to a point where it's there, and other areas, it's just not got there yet, I think. And the thing is, like, I think the thing is, the thing to remember is there's technical people everywhere. Yeah. They're everywhere. There's software developers. I live in a village with one street, and I met a guy who lives a few doors down from me who also works in software, and this is just one street village. like they're everywhere. Absolutely everywhere, and it's just a case of bringing them all together, I think. Yeah.
On a similar line to that, in my street there's 15 houses, and 4 houses from me is a couple that run their own web development company. So, but I think the question sort of comes from my experience, at least in my relatively close area, that over the years when I've interviewed people, when I've worked in teams, very few, if any, have ever attended any sort of tech community things. And when I've asked them, are they interested, it's been a bit of a taboo thing, that like, oh no, I write code all day, I don't want to do it when I go home. And it was actually a long while before I knew about Chester Devs, which is the city I pretty much grew up in. And it's been around for a little while now, quite a few years. And then when I've started pushing that to people, again, it's been that sort of attitude. But it could be, as you said, critical mass is that the fact that the areas that I've worked haven't had enough people shouting about these sort of events to make it something that's in the what's the word I'm looking for, in like the collective mindset of the tech industry for that area. Because I think there's a stat that says that you've got to see something at least 7 times before you even think about going to look at it, rather than more than getting involved with it.
Yeah, certainly over the years we've optimized our marketing and tweaked things about how we present events. If you go onto the Tech Nottingham website, there's no pictures of code, there's no pictures of people on computers. Pretty much like it's mostly people sitting together and laughing, and it's a social event. It's making the point, like, we'd never say this is a networking event, although there is absolutely an element of that. But this is a place where you meet people and learn things and have a good time together. And certainly the talks are there to they expose you to some new ideas, but crucially, they give you something to talk about with the people that are around you, and they give you an opportunity to engage with the speaker on a subject that might interest you. And so, I think the key to overcoming this idea, like, I code all day and I don't want to. Well, you're not really going to do the same coding that you've done all day. If we do a coding exercise, it'll be totally outside your comfort zone. You'll definitely learn something new, and you'll definitely meet some people who are doing some things that you've never even heard of. So we have a kind of philosophy especially with the meetup, is that, like, well, we could put content on every month, and you can find it interesting every month. And it could be something that speaks to exactly what you want to see every single month, if we, by some miracle, manage to do that. But after about 4 months, you're probably not going to keep engaging with us, because content's not enough to keep you coming. It's just you kind of get the idea, and then you'll read some blog posts instead. But the thing that keeps people coming back to Tech Nottingham and keeps it growing is the people they meet there, and the experiences they have engaging with the other people around them. They've formed valuable relationships, they've formed friendships. And I go there because that's where my friends are. I've met good people there, and I always get a positive social experience, and learn things from the people around me. So we acknowledge that the thing that's going to get people in and keep them coming is the social side.
Yeah, definitely. And I've experienced that social side myself. Is the fact that, I think I mentioned earlier that the team that I attended with last year, we hadn't ever met in person, any of us. Three of the members live within a stone's throw of each other, and I don't think had met each other. And I live like 2.5 hours away from everybody else. But coming to the Hack24 event, it got us. It gave us an opportunity to meet each other and then work together on a project, which was really good. And some of us have gone off and done other things, but we still talk now and again. We're still involved in the original community online that we met in as well. But like you say, it is about getting out there and talking to those other people that are attending, and that's something that we as a team are going to strive to do. We've all made it one of our little checklist things, is go and talk to other people that are there.
Well, bear in mind, like last year, the people you were venturing out and talking to each other to were each other. Like, you were getting to know each other in person first time. So that is a social undertaking in and of itself. But you've kind of done that.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that you'll venture out further this year.
Yeah. So if anybody here that's listening wants to attend a hackathon, or is attending Hack24, what are some pointers that you would give them about attending a hackathon?
Certainly, it's the event is about more than the competition. So, I think when people attend their first hackathon, there's often a few different ideas that are going through their head. First of all, they massively overemphasize the competition element, and really it's about getting together and having fun building stuff. So try and emphasis on having fun building stuff together as the thing to do. But also there's often a lot of ideas about what the other people are going to be like, and whether the things they do are going to be good enough, whether they're going to be good enough, whether they're going to fit in. And we make one point we make very strongly at Hack24 is everybody is one of us at Hack24. If you're here, you're one of us. There are no outsiders at Hack24. So that goes for everybody involved in the event: the sponsors, the attendees, the hackers, the volunteers, the caterers. Absolutely everybody who's involved in Hack24 is one of us, and has is there because they are a part of the event. I don't know if there's nothing I can say now that's going to dispel the anxiety people have about entering an unfamiliar environment with an unfamiliar group of people, but it's a safe place for you to go and try out some stuff and have some fun building things. So relax and head to it with a plan to have fun together. And there's other like advice we could give on succeeding with your hacks and stuff like that. But the most important thing is to not worry too much and just have fun.
Sure. So that your golden rule would be: enjoy it, don't stress about it, attend and get some enjoyment out of it.
Yeah, I mean, it's fun to build stuff. Like that's what we're trying to get to. It's not like it's not an intense all-nighter session. Absolutely get some sleep. It's fine.
It's not cheating.
It's not cheating to sleep. People who have a nap tend to do better. We're trying to get back to that thing that first got you into technology, that spark, that inspiration, that excitement of, hey, I just made something and I saw it come to fruition. And so try and find that. That's what we're looking for.
Awesome. So we're just about out of time for this episode, but it's got me even more excited now about the event that's coming up or happened or just about to happen. Depends on when you're listening to this. So yeah, it's going to be good. I think I'm going to do one of my monologue episodes about hackathon prep, because I think last year I turned up with too much stuff, but there was some stuff that I didn't take. So I think I'm going to put something together to say this is the kit that I'm going to take, and this is what I would advise other people to take as well. So that'll be coming up before the event, and this episode will be airing before the event as well.
Oh, cool.
Awesome.
So it should be good. So if you are listening to this and you are coming to Hack24, come and find me. I'm going to be the bald guy with a beard. That's really descriptive for a tech event, isn't it? But I'll probably have my hoodie or t-shirt on with the Cynical Developer logo on. Come over, have a chat, get some stickers. Maybe even let me come and talk to you about what you're building for Hack24, because I'm going to come and try and record a little bit with different people, put together a bit of a montage episode, a sort of like an aftermath of Hack24. And one thing I'm not doing this year is staying up for 24 hours and then trying to drive 2.5 hours home. It's one of the most scary things I've ever done in my life. So I will be staying over that night.
There's some places to grab a kit around. There's some very comfy sofas we can offer you around the council house, and there's lots of excellent hotels in Nottingham city centre.
Yeah. Great stuff. So thanks for coming on. Thanks for spending the time this evening recording it, and it's definitely been interesting. I've definitely got a lot out of it, and I hope everyone out there has as well.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thanks very much.
It's been great.
Yeah, not a problem. So until next time, thanks for listening to The Cynical Developer. I'm James Stoddart, and you've been listening to Emma and Andrew talking about hackathons and Hack24. If you have any questions about this or any other episode, then drop us an email, a tweet, or leave a comment on the website, where you can find all the resource links, show notes for each episode. And if you enjoy this episode, please leave a review on your favourite podcast platform, iTunes, Stitcher, whatever it is, and help The Cynical Developer to reach more developers around the globe.